Picture this. It's November 1923. You're standing in a Berlin bakery, and the price board behind the counter reads 200 billion marks for a single loaf of bread. Not 200,000, 200 billion. The woman ahead of you pulls out a wheelbarrow, not to carry her groceries, but to carry enough physical cash just to buy milk. By the time you reach the front of the line, the baker crosses out the price and writes 250 billion. The mark dropped 30% in value while you waited 12 minutes. We tend to view this as a weird chapter from history class, but it keeps happening. A carton of eggs cost 7 million bolívares in Venezuela in 2018. A bus ticket required a $100 trillion banknote in Zimbabwe. In Lebanon, the currency recently lost 98% of its value in just 4 years, turning doctors into paupers overnight. These events represent a recurring historical reality. Extreme currency collapse is a mathematical pattern that regularly wipes out unprepared citizens when their monetary system reaches its breaking point. Analysis of historical records shows the average lifespan of a fiat currency is just 27 years. The US dollar has operated as a purely fiat currency since 1971, meaning it has already outlived the statistical average for similar systems in the past. This diagram maps out the predictable 5-stage cycle of a dying currency. Stage 1, the government spends more than it collects. Stage 2, the central bank prints money to cover the gap. Stage 3, the sheer volume of new money crushes the purchasing power of every existing unit in circulation. Stage 4 is the tipping point, where citizens realize what's happening and flee to alternative forms of money. That mass exodus triggers Stage 5, complete systemic collapse. Examining these historical autopsies allows us to identify the specific assets that retain value when a government is forced to rewrite the rules of money. Before we look at what survives, we have to look at what goes to zero. The primary victims of a collapse are fixed-income government bonds and domestic savings accounts. These assets fail because they are paper claims, denominated in the dying currency itself. Your nominal balance might stay exactly the same, but as the currency burns, the purchasing power required to buy a house or even a loaf of bread evaporates. Whether you held paper marks in Weimar Germany or pesos in Argentina, history shows that being a creditor to a failing state is a mathematically certain route to total wealth destruction. Precious metals like gold and silver have survived every major economic collapse because central banks cannot arbitrarily expand their supply. Their scarcity is a physical reality that a printing press cannot change. The most immediate escape valve is holding a stable foreign currency. When domestic money starts failing, rational citizens abandon it and start transacting in dollars, euros, or Swiss francs to maintain their ability to trade. We saw this during the 2019 Lebanese banking collapse. A nurse who kept $50,000 in local currency inside the banking system lost 98% of her purchasing power. Her colleague, who held $50,000 in physical US dollars at home, maintained her full ability to buy goods. These assets act as financial insurance. Their fundamental purpose is to freeze your purchasing power in time, while the rest of the domestic monetary system is dismantled. When formal systems freeze, economic activity reorganizes around physical necessities. In post-World War II Germany, the mark was effectively abandoned, and citizens traded coal, potatoes, and cigarettes as a temporary standardized currency. Consumables provide immediate crisis liquidity, but they cannot act as a strategic, long-term store of wealth because they are meant to be used up. For tangible, long-term survival, agricultural land produces the one thing humans absolutely need: calories. Farm families survived the Great Depression with vast advantages over urban dwellers. However, land is illiquid, and it remains vulnerable to government seizure or extreme taxation that can force a sale for pennies. Physical goods and land offer life-saving intrinsic value during the acute phase of a crisis, but their lack of portability means they must be only one piece of a broader wealth protection strategy. In early 2024, as the Venezuelan economy was collapsing, the Caracas Stock Exchange surged over 3,400% in just 9 trading days. This happens because stocks represent direct ownership in real physical assets, factories, equipment, and land. When the currency dies, the nominal price of those productive assets rises to match the rate of inflation. there is a vital caveat. Success depends on where the revenue comes from. Companies selling only to domestic markets see their real earnings crash, while businesses that export goods receive stable foreign currency while their local operating costs collapse. Productive equities with international revenue streams act as beneficiaries of currency collapse, using the devaluation of local costs to improve their real-world profitability. You can see the later stages of monetary failure happening right now. Iraq is facing massive liquidity crises. Lebanon's banking system is technically insolvent, and Turkish citizens are moving their wealth into physical gold at record rates. This brings us to the $38 trillion U.S. national debt. Interest payments on that debt have now climbed so high they exceed the entire U.S. military budget, following the same fiscal path Britain took before its currency lost its status as the world's reserve. These indicators show that the mathematical pattern of currency debasement is not a relic of the past, but an active, ongoing global process. True diversification means holding different forms of value, precious metals, foreign cash, and export equities that react to a systemic failure independently from one another. A portfolio tied to one domestic currency faces catastrophic risk. When that specific system reaches its breaking point, your purchasing power disappears along with it. No one can control the 27-year life cycle of a fiat currency, but by studying these financial autopsies, you can position your wealth to survive the fire.